Now, the country remains sharply focused on illegal mining in the wake of the Stilfontein saga, where reportedly thousands of miners remain underground after police closed off several exits in an attempt to force them to resurface through the main exit. Geologists have added their voice, raising concerns on the dangers of illegal mining and its impact on water quality, among others. Joining us for more on this is mining expert Dr. Adwoa Boaduo. Good evening, Doctor. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Now, the conversation on mining and its impact on water quality is an age-old one. By its very nature, mining impacts the environment from land degradation, air and water pollution. But the question is, how much more when this is due to illegal mining activities where the mining methods are rudimentary with no safety protocols?
So thank you so much for that. So I just want to first explain the context of water inflow in mining. So you're right. Normally when you mine, maybe in your underground mine, you will intersect some sort of a water feature, either a river above you or a water table when you go through the mine, when the mine goes through this water body. But, large-scale mines are equipped to manage, water management, water control, and they've got the infrastructure. We pump, we construct dams. In many cases, what they do is we've got water purification systems. But illegal mines are not equipped with these facilities. As I heard with the comrade from the EFF, illegal mining normally happens in your decommissioned mines. And normally what happens in decommissioned mines is we stop pumping the water out and water accumulates. But you plan for this in your environmental impact assessment and you put in some certain controls from a large-scale mining perspective. What happens when illegal mining comes in is those controls, some of them are not present, or water plugs that are constructed to maybe contain some of this water, they are broken. And this causes water to flow in different places and to accumulate. So that's one of and then it reports to your water bodies. It reports to water tables, it comes through your boreholes, so on and so forth. So the challenge you have also is with these older mines, the legacy mines that were closed before the enactment of your legislation on environmental impact. What happens is some of these mines didn't put the necessary controls to ensure that the water does not contaminate after closure. Yeah. And you start seeing these issues there. Yeah.
There's also the danger posed by this kind of mining on properties. Yes. We've also seen a proliferation of sinkholes because Zamazamas, as far as we know, operate in a very vast and unmapped area underground.
Yes. So let's talk about Stilfontein specifically. So we know that the mine was, let's say it was shut in the year 2005 because of a magnitude 5.3 seismic event. And that's the nature of gold mining, a deep level gold mining. You mine towards these geological features and they slip. So again, large scale mines have controls to manage the impact. But, let's say illegal mining rather, because there's a difference between small scale mining and illegal mining. So illegal miners don't have those controls. We have mining methods that mitigate how we mine towards these geological structures. And the problem you get is when you mine towards these structures and you get some sort of a slip and it induces seismic activity. That's when you get rock bursts, and sometimes you feel it on surface, and that sometimes damages infrastructure. So, those are some of the issues that you get. Particularly in the Witwatersrand, you wouldn't necessarily get a sinkhole, but you will get seismic activity, you will get rock falls, so on and so forth. Those are the dangers we get. And that not only endangers the lives of the illegal miners, but also the people who work in the neighboring mines, because this is almost like a domino effect of sorts. So yeah, that's the issue mainly from a geological or geotechnical standpoint with the illegal mining.
Then we hear many saying that perhaps you need to convert whatever activity is happening now, which is illegal, to artisanal mining where it will be regulated. But how affordable will it be? Because you're talking here about the need to have that environmental impact assessment where you must manage the water, where the water seeps to. You've also got the situation where you must also ensure that you're using methods that are very safe underground. So all of this would come with even employing geologists. So how affordable or cost effective would it really be if we spoke about small scale mining?
So small-scale mining is not difficult on surface, but when you go underground, it's a different ballgame, because it's so expensive to go underground and mine. You need so many controls to make it safe, because inherently it's quite risky. So that would need research to answer your question. But we start with legislation. We need to properly legislate artisanal and small-scale mining in South Africa. It's been left in the back end for very long. And if we do not do it promptly, we'll end up with a crisis like countries like Ghana are facing, where the water pollution is to such a great extent that it's very difficult to control. But to answer your question, to incorporate underground mining into small-scale mining, I think it would be quite complex, but it would need quite a lot of research and development. But as it is right now,
I'm glad you mentioned this, because there's been a lot of criticism that has been directed at government to say they've been moving at a far too slower pace when it comes to this. But as we continue this conversation and speak with experts, we realize that some have been very simplistic about it, to think that if you've got big mining companies deciding to abandon the last deposits of minerals underground, saying it's too expensive, then some would think that you can send ordinary men underground and it wouldn't be as expensive. Because if you're going to be compliant and ensure that those that go underground are safe, and ensure that the environment itself is not degraded to the point where it's a danger to everybody else, then it would be expensive. But it seems there's still the push or the criticism that government is moving too slow. But here you are saying to take people underground is just a different ballgame.
Yes, it is. It is to take them underground safely. And I mean, you need to also understand that a lot of our resources or reserves are locked underground in South African mining operations, because it's unsafe with our current mining methods to extract. So I stand by my statement that as things remain, you cannot go into a deep level gold mine and say you're gonna mine with low capital. You are endangering people's lives. So this is why I say this needs more research and development. As a country, we've gone through many mining hurdles. Our journey has been very long and complex, and we've been able to develop cities like Johannesburg. I think it's possible, but it needs extensive research and development, and I don't see it being done at this moment.
And then the responsibility of those that would have been mining in some of these towns when they leave, be it the rehabilitation, but also putting together an economic plan post the mining in that community, because it has a significant impact socially on the people that remain in that mine. Are you seeing this happen, and are most of these mining companies being held responsible to say you need a plan beyond rehabilitation? There must be some sort of an economic plan post the mining.
Yeah. So, South Africa and Johannesburg in particular are a great example of decoupling, a town from it being a mining town to a multiple economic hub.
Yeah.
We've done it before. We've done it in Johannesburg. It has been done. So, I believe it can be done again, definitely. I did my master's research on this. It can certainly be done. Yes, we are not really doing very well at our local economic development or synchronizing our corporate social responsibility plans as mining operations with our local economic development. I think we are really lacking there, and I don't think we are doing our best to decouple
or diversify.
Exactly, and create those local economic linkages. So that's why we end up with a lot of your ghost mining towns. But I will maintain this point. We did it with Johannesburg before. I believe that this can be replicated if we just go back and understand what we did and how we can apply this on a micro scale. We might not get another Johannesburg. Think about mining triggered the creation of Johannesburg, the water infrastructure we have, Eskom, Transnet, so many things. It can certainly be done. And, South Africa is a perfect example of decoupling. So I'm very optimistic about that, but it needs work. It needs the right people to focus in the right areas and create these small multiplier effects, and perhaps strengthening SMEs in mining. So I think I'll keep it at that.
So it needs the right people to focus on the right things. That when there's still that economic boom in that town due to the mining activity, you need to start having that foresight and saying, let's invest in other industries, because there will come a time where we have to move on beyond the mining. Doctor, thank you very much for your insights this evening. That's Dr. Adwoa Boaduo speaking to us. She's a mining engineer.